Well, a lot of people have been waiting for this. Vaccinated Americans get the green light today to cross the Canadian border, but the process won't be as simple as it was before the pandemic.
Carmela Boykin live to explain what you need to know before you head to the border. Carmela, good morning.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Leah. The Canadian border has reopened for non-essential travelers, so that means if you have family or property that you'd like to visit, you can now do so. But before you head to the border, it's important you have all the proper documentation in place. This includes being fully vaccinated, having legal proof of vaccination, and having a negative COVID-19 test taken within 72 hours of crossing the border. AAA Public Relations Director Elizabeth Carey says there will be many people looking forward to crossing.
If you just want to go over to Canada for the heck of it to go see the falls, I suggest doing that from the American side and holding off for now, because there's going to be so many people that really need to get over the border, the people that want to see loved ones, and also the people that want to check on the property they own up there.
Carey also says to expect long lines at the bridges, so make sure that your car is fully serviced and full of gas so you don't encounter any issues while waiting on the bridge. Reporting in Rochester, Carmela Boykin, News 8. Mark and Leah.
Carmela, thank you. Been a long time coming. Canadian officials add travelers must use the ArriveCan app to submit their travel information.
In other news this morning, senators were busy this past weekend negotiating amendments for the bipartisan infrastructure bill.
We are joined by Washington correspondent Basil John, live in D.C. this morning. Basil, good morning. Of course, the big question here, when is the bill expected to be passed?
Well, Mark, Leah, good morning. The expectation is that, the Senate will go back into session at noon today, and we can expect a final passage vote to happen either tonight or happen tomorrow morning, depending on if any lawmakers end up standing against this bill.
All right, we will keep an eye on that. Basil, thank you so much. President Biden spending the weekend at his home in Wilmington, Delaware, but we're told he was in frequent contact with members of the Senate floor.
In other news this morning, the Dixie Fire continuing to destroy homes and businesses in Northern California. Dozens are now missing after the massive flames destroyed entire towns there. California officials say the Dixie Fire is now the third largest in the state's history. The cause of this wildfire still remains unknown.
And the big news here this week, weather-wise, the heat that's in the forecast, right, James?
Yeah, definitely. We see numbers back up to the 90s. We haven't seen this really since early June. And so if we need a refresher, make sure to stay cool. You already know that, though. We have a beautiful morning as temperatures start off in the 70s, but a little toasty as we get into the afternoon. We see numbers climbing pretty quickly, lower 90s for afternoon highs. We have heat indexes potentially getting near 100 degrees, so you may notice there's a heat advisory in effect for Monroe County and surrounding areas through this afternoon. We'll take a look at the commute forecast and how long the 90s will last with the 8-day at the end of the show. Mark, Leah.
James, thank you. Another reminder, if you're just joining us, our sunrise traffic. The shoulder on the inner loop is closed this morning between Clinton Avenue and Main Street. The good news, as you see, traffic flowing easily over the Douglas Anthony Bridge. 390, 490, and 590 all up to speed. Rochester police are investigating several shootings from over the weekend, including one on Hague Street that left a 16-year-old boy dead.
Police identifying that victim as Manuel Rivera of Rochester. Officers responding to the area around 7 p.m. Saturday for the report of a person shot. They found Rivera with a gunshot wound to the upper body. He was pronounced dead at the scene. RPD officials say crimes involving young people have spiked this year.
We have a 16-year-old who needlessly lost his life. You know, we're always hoping that this is the last homicide of the year, right? But, you know, unfortunately, that's not a reality. Violence is striking younger people, younger than when I first came on the job.
Investigators identifying one suspect in custody for this fatal shooting. 31-year-old Douglas E. Smith of Rochester has been charged with second-degree murder and criminal possession of a weapon. Smith allegedly fired a handgun at another person and hit Rivera. Investigators say the 16-year-old was not the intended target. Smith is scheduled to be arraigned later this morning. He was also indicted on weapons charges after allegedly firing multiple gunshots into a family member's home in July of last year.
Rochester police are also looking for a missing 16-year-old girl. Officers say Kelsey Glenn left her home Friday night around 9:30 with a female friend known as Sweetie. Glenn is described as 5'1", 115 pounds. Police say she frequents the Bloss Street area of the city on the west side. If you have any information about where she is, you're asked to call 911.
A building in Henrietta suffering major damage after this car crashed into it. Police responding to Winton Place Plaza around 2 p.m. This was yesterday. According to Monroe County Sheriff's deputies, 2 people were in that vehicle at the time of the crash. No injuries reported. The cause of the crash that is under investigation this morning. Well, the lawmakers tasked with investigating whether there are grounds to impeach Governor Cuomo will meet in Albany to talk about the next steps.
Juliana Bruno from our sister station there is outside the executive mansion this morning with what we can expect today.
Some lawmakers want to see an impeachment vote within days, but those who actually serve on the Assembly Judiciary Committee say their probe could wrap up in a month. They still have to review any additional evidence that Governor Cuomo wishes to submit in his defense, and he has until Friday to do so. The chair of the committee is Assemblyman Charles Levine. He leads a group of 20 other lawmakers, including Assemblymember Phil Steck, who believes the developments of today's meeting will likely be of more interest to the members of the committee than the public at this time. Since March, the committee's probe has also been looking into the governor's $5 million book deal and handling of COVID-19 in nursing homes. Steck says today the committee will likely have more insight into what the evidence is against the governor on charges other than sexual harassment.
Obviously, we have to wait for the governor to make his submission to the committee and then for our attorneys to review that. So I think we'll be getting an update on where the attorneys are in their investigation.
The Assembly Judiciary Committee meets this morning at 9:30 at the Legislative Office Building. Reporting in Albany, I'm Juliana Bruno.
Well, the Wall Street Journal reporting Melissa DeRosa, a top aide to Governor Cuomo, has resigned. DeRosa was among the dozens of officials subpoenaed by the state attorney general's office as part of its investigation into sexual harassment claims against Governor Cuomo. For more on this, head to rochesterfirst.com. In our Family First segment, selecting a long-term care facility for your loved one can be a challenge.
Experts say many families wait too long before starting that process, and that makes it more difficult for everyone. They recommend starting the conversation before a crisis. When looking for a community, find one close to family so it's easier to visit. Also, talk to the person you plan to move and get their permission. We spoke with Carrie Kyler from Legacy at Erie Station about when it's time to move your loved one.
It could be things like forgetfulness, not able to find the keys. You may notice people changing in terms of maybe weight loss could be another issue, that they're not eating as well as they should, or they're forgetting to eat. A lot of times driving is an issue with folks, that they just feel like their loved ones maybe take a ride with them and all of a sudden, mom forgot how to get home.
She says the first thing they do when meeting with a potential resident is learn more about what they want. Now, coming up Wednesday, we are talking about the cost of senior living and how to make the transition easier for everybody involved.
All right, here's what some folks might be talking about at the water cooler this morning. Boy, lots of fans out for this. Kyle Larson taking the checkered flag to win the Go Bowling at the Glen Sunday at Watkins Glen. Larson picking up his 5th win of the year and moving into a tie with Denny Hamlin for the most points in the Cup Series in the process. The annual race at the Glen was canceled last year because of the pandemic, but the grandstand was full on Sunday with joyous race fans across the region.
Yeah, we were there, and the energy was just unbelievable because, you know, we've waited for this for a long time, race fans. We were right at the Genesee Brew Tent across from Pit Row, saw the drivers. It was, what an experience.
Love it.
It was great.
There.
It's loud.
It's pretty loud,
right? You need the earphones when the cars go by because you're right there.
Right. Yeah, I went to a monster truck show once.
Oh, fun.
Also very loud.
Yes.
Yeah. And that was inside. So
that's like the Glen for about 2.5 hours.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, if you are spending any time outside, maybe you're heading to work and your work is outside, you want to make sure you stay cool. It's going to be hot and humid for today. Starting off in the low 70s, but warming up quickly. We'll get into the low 90s, not only today, Tuesday, but tomorrow, Wednesday, I've got it even into Thursday as well. So this would pretty much fill our quota for 90 degrees for the summer. We've got the feel out there, overnight lows in the low 70s. I will compare this to average coming up at the noon show. Mark and Leah.
All right. If you like the heat, you're going to like that forecast. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching News 8 at Sunrise.
Our next update coming up in 30 minutes. CBS This Morning begins next. Have a great Monday and a great week.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.